Hi all, welcome to Java Sessions. I am Amrita Patil and today our topic is inheritance in Java. Inheritance is considered as one of the four major pillars which is considered in the object oriented programming. What is inheritance? Inheritance allows a class to inherit the properties and the behavior from another class. A superclass, which is also known as a base class or the parent class, is the class that is extended or inherited by the other classes. And a subclass is also known as a derived class or the child class, which will inherit the properties from the superclass. A subclass automatically acquires the fields and the methods of the superclass, and it is also have its own unique fields and the methods. If we consider inheritance, that is we have two classes. One is a superclass and second one is a subclass. A subclass will inherit the properties of the superclass, which is also called as the parent class, and the properties of the superclass will be inherited in the subclass if I extend that superclass in the subclass. That is the concept where is a relationship is there. That means I am a daughter of my father. So father is my parent and daughter is a subclass where the daughter will inherit some or all of the properties of my parent, my father, and that is called as is a relationship. A daughter, a father is a parent for the daughter. Okay. It enables Java code reusage as the common characteristics and the functions can be defined in a superclass and a subclass can extend and modify them according to the specific requirements. The real life example, if we take the animal will be the subclass, animal will be a base class, the properties of the animal which is extended by the different animals, that is dog, cat and the cow. In this case the animal is a parent class and dog, cat and the cow are derived class or the subclass, or we can say it they are the child classes. So the dog, cat and cow can get the properties of the animal and they can reuse it. So, what is the easy relationship? Inheritance is easy relationship, but what actually it means? Easy relationship represent a type of a relationship between the classes. That means a class animal and a dog, which are extending the property of an animal class. So here we can say dog is a animal. That means is a relation is present between the dog and the animal. Easy relationship is a key of understanding the inheritance in Java and is expressed using the extends keyword. If I want to extend some class, then I have to use that keyword extends in my subclass. So what are the type of inheritances? There are mainly five types of the inheritance general, but not all the inheritance types are supported by the Java. Now let's see one by one. First is the single inheritance, where only one superclass is there and one subclass is there. That is called as the single inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance, where one superclass is there and multiple subclasses are there. So that is the example of hierarchical. Multi-level. Multi-level, that means a superclass is there which is inherited in the subclass 1, and for the subclass 2, subclass 1 is inherited. That means superclass 2 extends superclass 1 and superclass 1 extends superclass. Now let's see what is hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance, that means a superclass, one superclass is there and one or more subclasses are there, two or more subclasses are there, and these subclasses will have single child, that means a subclass or a common subclass, one common child class, and that is called as the hybrid inheritance. And last one is the multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance, that means more than one superclasses are there and one subclass is there. So this is called as the multiple inheritance, where multiple superclasses are there for a single subclass. So what are the advantages of this inheritance? We can use, we can do the code reuse and maintain the code. Polymorphism and flexibility. The polymorphism, that means the runtime polymorphism is achieved by using the inheritance, and it also provide the flexibility to the code. It will do, it will have the class hierarchy in an organized manner. And by using the concept of inheritance, it is easy to understand the concepts and the class structure and to implement the same. Now let's discuss what are the disadvantages of the same. One is the tight coupling, then this fragile base class problem. Inherited methods may not always be relevant. Complexity in large inheritance hierarchies. One of the most important thing which I want to mention here, that in the Java, multiple inheritance is not acceptable, while all other inheritance types are acceptable. Multiple inheritance will not be acceptable, that because uh, the core concept of object oriented language will not be satisfied here, so Java will not allow the multiple inheritance. Now let's go to the real time example of the is a relationship or the inheritance. Here I am having the inheritance demo class. In this I am having the two classes. First is a employee class. In that I am having ID, first name and the last name, and the constructor of the employee class, and some of the getter setter methods, and the overridden method of toString, where I am printing the properties of the employee or the data members of the employee: ID, first name and the last name. I have the second class as a manager, which is extending the class employee. As it is extending the employee class, it will have all the methods which are defined in the employee, that is ID, first name and last name. That is the code reusability, code reusability we are achieving in inheritance. And just I am taking manager constructor, and in the toString method I am just calling the super dot toString. What super is doing here? Super, that means whatever the super class of this class, that means the employee, and I am just printing the toString method from this. But for this also, it though it is calling the superclass method, whenever I am printing ID, first name and last name for the manager, it will print the ID, first class, last name, first name, last name of the manager only. So now in this main class, I am creating the object of employee 1 and the object of manager, where I am passing the different parameters. For employee, I am passing 1 as a ID, John as a first name and last name, and for the manager, I'm passing ID as a 3, first name as a Loke, and last name as a Aaron. Okay, and I'm just printing the two string methods of the manager and the employee. So now execute it. What it will print for the manager, it will print Aaron Loki and having the ID 3, and for the employee it will print John and having the ID 1. Okay, so now let's test your knowledge. Which keyword is used to implement the inheritance in Java? New, this, extend or implements. Which it will use? Extends. Second question, in Java, a class can inherit from multiple classes. True or false? False, because Java will not support the multiple inheritance where the multiple superclasses are there and one subclass is there. So that is not acceptable in the Java. Which one of the following is not a type of inheritance is Java? Single inheritance, hybrid, dual, and hierarchical. Which is not dual one? Dual, that means that it is the same of multiple inheritance. Which advantage of inheritance allows a subclass to provide a specific implementation of a class in its superclass? Code reuse, polymorphism, flexibility, and data hiding. Which one? Yes, polymorphism. The inheritance will allow the runtime polymorphism. These are some of the short answer questions you have to find out and let me know in case of any issue or you can comment. Till that, thank you and happy learning.